What if I told you $1,500 is where watches start to get seriously interesting? Not just good for the price, I'm talking about watches with real heritage, proven movements, and designs that collectors actually respect. This is that sweet spot, right between entry-level and true luxury, where every dollar you spend starts to feel intentional. I've spent years handling, comparing, and living with watches across all price ranges. And I can tell you this, some of the smartest buys I've ever seen sit right here. So whether you're building your first real collection or looking for that one watch that does everything, this list is going to give you clarity. And if you appreciate honest watch reviews, real-world value, and no-nonsense recommendations, make sure to hit like, subscribe, and share. Let's break down what $1,500 can really get you. Starting with number 10. Ranked 10th, Hamilton Khaki Field Automatic. There's a reason this watch shows up in so many serious collections, and it's not by accident. The Hamilton Khaki Field Automatic is one of those rare pieces that feels completely honest. No unnecessary flash, no overdesign, just a clean, purpose-built watch that does exactly what it's supposed to do, and does it exceptionally well. The case comes in at 38 millimeters, which is just about perfect for a field watch. It wears compact, balanced, and incredibly versatile. The fully brushed stainless steel finish gives it that rugged, military-inspired character, something you can wear daily without worrying about every scratch. The dial is where the khaki field really shines in its simplicity. Bold Arabic numerals, a 24-hour inner track, and crisp white printing on a matte black background. It's all about legibility, everything exactly where it should be. Inside, you're getting the Hamilton H10 automatic movement based on ETA, but upgraded with an impressive 80-hour power reserve. Take it off for the weekend, come back Monday, it's still running. At around $600 to $800, this watch over-delivers. Swiss heritage, strong reliability, and a design that never goes out of style. The khaki field doesn't try to impress you. It earns your respect over time. And that's exactly why it deserves the number 10 spot. Ranked 9th, Tissot PRX Powermatic 80. Few watches in recent years have made an impact like the PRX, and once you wear it, you immediately understand why. This is one of the cleanest executions of the integrated bracelet design at this price point. The 40mm case flows seamlessly into the bracelet, giving it that sleek, cohesive look inspired by late 70s sports watches. On the wrist, it feels slim, refined, and far more expensive than it actually is. The dial is where things really come alive. That textured waffle pattern, especially in blue, adds depth and character, constantly playing with light throughout the day. It's subtle, but incredibly effective. Inside, you get the Powermatic 80 automatic movement, offering an impressive 80-hour power reserve along with solid everyday reliability. At around $650 to $750, this is one of the strongest value propositions in modern watchmaking. You're getting iconic design, Swiss mechanics, and a watch that genuinely stands out without trying too hard. The PRX isn't just popular, it's earned its place. And at number 9, it's one of the smartest buys under $1,500. Ranked 8th, Seiko Prospex Alpinist. This is where things start to get a little more interesting because the Alpinist isn't trying to please everyone. And that's exactly why collectors love it. At 39.5 millimeters, the case strikes a great balance between sporty and classic. It wears comfortably, with just enough presence without ever feeling oversized. The finishing is solid, but it's the design that really sets it apart. That deep green sunburst dial is instantly recognizable. Paired with gold-tone indices, cathedral hands, and that internal compass bezel, it gives the watch a unique identity you simply won't find elsewhere in this price range. And yes, that second crown adds a bit of quirk, but also a lot of charm. Inside, you're getting the Seiko 6R35 automatic movement, delivering around 70 hours of power reserve, making it practical for everyday wear. At roughly $700 to $900, the Alpinist offers something different. Not just another safe sports watch, but a piece with personality, heritage, and a story behind it. And in a sea of similar designs, that uniqueness is exactly what earns it the number 8 spot. Ranked 7th, Citizen Series 8 Automatic. Now, if you want something that blends modern design with everyday practicality, this is where Citizen really surprises people. The Series 8 isn't your typical Citizen. It feels sharper, more refined, and much more in line with what you'd expect from higher-end integrated sports watches. The 40mm stainless steel case has a strong, angular design with clean lines and a mix of brushed and polished surfaces. It flows seamlessly into the bracelet, giving it that integrated look that's both modern and very wearable. The dial adds another layer of interest, a subtle textured pattern, applied indices, and a deep blue tone that shifts depending on the light. It feels premium without being loud. Inside, you're getting a Citizen automatic movement, caliber 9051. It's anti-magnetic, reliable, and built for real daily use, something you don't always see emphasized at this price. Sapphire crystal, solid construction, and 100 meters of water resistance, making it a true everyday sports watch. At around $1,000 to $1,300, the Series 8 offers a different kind of value, not just heritage, but modern engineering and design. It's clean, capable, and quietly impressive, and that's exactly why it earns its place at number 7. Ranked 6th, Longines Conquest Quartz. At this point, it's worth asking, do you always need mechanical, or do you want precision and ease? Because the Longines Conquest Quartz offers something a little different, and in many ways, smarter for everyday wear. The 41mm stainless steel case is clean, polished, and well-proportioned. It sits right between sporty and refined, making it incredibly versatile whether you're in a t-shirt or a button-down. The finishing feels distinctly more premium than most watches at this price, with smooth transitions and a subtle shine that elevates the overall look. The dial keeps things classic, simple baton markers, sharp hands, and excellent clarity. It's understated, but executed with real attention to detail, giving it that quiet luxury feel on the wrist. Inside, you're getting a Swiss quartz movement, which means accuracy, reliability, and virtually no maintenance. Just pick it up and go, without worrying about resetting time or power reserve. At around $1,000 to $1,300, this is your entry into Longines, one of the most respected names in Swiss watchmaking, without overcomplicating things. It may not be mechanical, but in terms of real-world usability, refinement, and long-term convenience, it absolutely earns its place at number 6. Ranked 5th, Oris Aquis Date, pre-owned market. Now this is where things start to feel serious, because once you step into Oris, especially with the Aquis Date, you're no longer just buying a good watch for the price. You're stepping into true Swiss luxury territory. The first thing you notice is the build quality. The 41.5mm case feels dense, solid, and incredibly well finished. The transitions between brushed and polished surfaces are sharp, controlled, and far beyond what you typically expect at this level. That integrated bracelet flows seamlessly into the case, giving it a modern, cohesive look. Add in the ceramic bezel, and suddenly you're getting materials and durability that usually belong to much higher price brackets. The dial is equally impressive, clean, deep, and highly legible, with a level of execution that feels distinctly premium on the wrist. Inside, you'll typically find a Swiss automatic movement based on Sellita, reliable, smooth, and easy to service long-term. Now here's the key. On the pre-owned market, you can find this watch for around $1,300 to $1,500. And at that price, it becomes one of the strongest value plays in the entire list. Because the Aquis doesn't just look premium, it feels like it in every detail. And that's exactly why it earns the number 5 spot. Ranked 4th, Seiko Presage Sharp Edge Series. This is where Seiko shifts from tool watch to art on the wrist. The Presage Sharp Edge Series feels like a completely different side of the brand, more refined, more deliberate, and surprisingly elevated for the price. The 39.3mm stainless steel case is where it starts to stand out. Sharp lines, crisp edges, and a mix of brushed and polished surfaces give it a more architectural, modern look. It feels precise, almost sculpted, but the real highlight is the dial. That Asanoha hemp leaf pattern isn't just decoration, it creates depth and texture that constantly changes depending on the light. It's subtle from a distance, but up close it's incredibly detailed and almost hypnotic. The hands and indices are sharply finished, catching light beautifully and adding to that overall sense of refinement. Inside, you get the Seiko 6R35 automatic movement, offering around 70 hours of power reserve. Practical, reliable, and built for daily wear. At around $900 to $1,100, this watch delivers something you don't often see at this level: genuine craftsmanship and design character. It's not loud. It doesn't try to impress instantly. But once you notice the details, it's hard to look away. And that quiet confidence is exactly why it earns the number 4 spot. Ranked third, Christopher Ward C63 Sealander Automatic. Now this is where things get really interesting, because Christopher Ward is one of those brands that quietly over-delivers, and the C63 Sealander is proof of that. At 39 millimeters, the case hits a near-perfect sweet spot: slim, well-balanced, and incredibly wearable. The finishing is where it stands out: crisp brushing, polished accents, and a level of detail that honestly rivals watches well above this price point. The dial is clean, modern, and extremely versatile. Applied indices, sharp handset, and a subtle sunburst effect that plays beautifully with light. It's minimal, but not boring. Inside, you'll find the Sellita SW200-1 automatic movement. Reliable, accurate, and easy to service. It's a workhorse movement, and that's exactly what you want in a daily watch. Sapphire crystal, solid bracelet, and excellent overall build quality. Everything feels tight, refined, and thoughtfully executed. At around $900 to $1,200, the C63 Sealander offers incredible value. This is the kind of watch that doesn't rely on heritage or hype. It earns its place purely through quality. And in today's market, that makes it one of the smartest choices, easily deserving of the number 3 spot. Ranked second, Sinn 556i. This is where things get more focused, more intentional. The Sinn 556 isn't trying to impress you with flash or complexity. It wins you over with clarity, build quality, and purpose. At 38.5 millimeters, the case is compact, perfectly balanced, and incredibly wearable. The bead-blasted stainless steel gives it that understated, almost industrial look. Tough, scratch-resistant, and built for real use. The dial is where Sinn's philosophy really shows. Matte black, applied indices, and a clean, symmetrical layout that's all about legibility. No excess, no noise, just pure function. Inside, you're getting the Sellita SW200-1 automatic movement, a proven workhorse. Reliable, easy to service, and exactly what you want in a watch you can wear every single day without thinking twice. There's also a level of durability here that goes beyond the surface. Sinn is known for engineering-focused watchmaking, and you can feel that in the way this watch is built. At around $1,200 to $1,500, the 556i isn't about showing off. It's about getting everything right. And for those who understand that kind of design, it becomes very hard to replace. That's what makes it a clear choice for the number 2 spot. In first place, Tudor Black Bay 36 pre-owned market. And here it is, the watch that changes how you think about $1,500. Because at this level, you're no longer just buying specifications. You're buying heritage. And Tudor brings that in a way very few brands can. The Black Bay 36 is all about balance. The 36mm case wears effortlessly, classic proportions, slim profile, and incredibly versatile. It's one of those watches that works with everything, from casual to formal, without ever feeling out of place. The design is clean but unmistakable. Those iconic snowflake hands, the applied indices, the subtle depth of the dial. It all comes together in a way that feels refined but never boring. The finishing is where you really start to notice the difference. Smooth transitions, polished surfaces, and a level of detail that clearly sits above most watches in this price range. Inside, you're getting a robust Swiss automatic movement, built for reliability and everyday wear. Nothing flashy, just dependable performance. Now here's the key. On the pre-owned market, you can find the Black Bay 36 for around $1,400 to $1,600. And at that price, this isn't just value, it's access. Access to a brand with direct ties to Rolex, with real history behind it. This is the kind of watch you don't outgrow, the kind you keep even as your collection evolves. And that's exactly why it takes the #1 spot. So, what does $1,500 really get you? It gets you into the part of watch collecting where things start to feel serious. Real mechanical movements, respected brands and designs that don't just look good today, but still make sense years from now. And the best part? There's no single right choice here. Whether you lean toward rugged tool watches, refined everyday pieces, or something with a bit more personality, this budget gives you options that actually matter. Now I want to hear from you. Which one would you pick? Drop your choice in the comments. And if you found this helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, because there's a lot more coming. I'll see you in the next one.